Major developments are emerging from inside Kensington Palace, and they could redefine the future of the British monarchy in ways no one expected. Reports now suggest that Prince William and Princess Catherine have quietly begun implementing a carefully designed, long-term strategy aimed at protecting their youngest son, Prince Louis, from a destructive pattern that has repeatedly damaged members of the royal family across generations. It's the pattern often referred to as the royal spare curse, the emotional burden and identity crisis that has turned younger royal siblings into embittered, conflicted, or scandal-prone figures who either push back against the institution or crumble beneath its pressures. William and Catherine are determined to break that cycle once and for all, and they're doing it with an approach so intentional and forward-thinking that it challenges centuries of royal tradition. This isn't merely about being warm, attentive parents or balancing affection between their three children. This is about re-engineering how royal children grow, learn, bond, and understand their place in a world defined by hierarchy. William knows what happens when the hierarchy becomes suffocating. He remembers watching Prince Harry struggle with feeling secondary, overlooked, and increasingly resentful until the relationship between the brothers fractured and Harry walked away from royal life. He also saw the tragic consequences of the spare dynamic in Prince Andrew, whose entitlement, lack of direction, and poor judgment eventually led to scandal and disgrace. Now, with the responsibility of raising George, Charlotte, and Louis, William has resolved that his youngest son will never grow up believing his worth is determined by his position in the line of succession. If you want deeper insight into how William and Catherine are reshaping royal parenting and possibly safeguarding the monarchy's future, make sure you subscribe to Royals Explored and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update. The strategy they've adopted is surprisingly bold in scope. Royal commentator Hilary Fordwich has revealed that the couple emphasizes an idea rarely heard in royal circles: George is first among equals. This phrase acknowledges George's destiny while making it clear he is not inherently superior to Charlotte or Louis. It's a radical departure from generations where the heir received the attention, the grooming, and the emotional investment while the spares were left to navigate their own identity crises. William and Catherine have constructed a home environment where hierarchy fades into the background. Instead of allowing royal duties and staff to dictate family life, they function as a close-knit team. They cook as a family, complete chores together, and handle routines like school runs, bedtime, and homework themselves. This hands-on approach is revolutionary compared to older royal parenting styles that relied heavily on nannies and left children emotionally detached from their parents. William remembers that distance clearly. He and Harry were raised largely by staff while their parents wrestled with their strained marriage, creating a volatile, uncertain childhood. William has sworn that his children won't experience that same instability. Kate's involvement is equally crucial. She prioritizes consistency, warmth, and structure, grounding her children with routines that feel familiar and ordinary despite the extraordinary world they live in. These choices matter even more now because Prince Louis, who turned 7 on April 23, is entering a stage where children become acutely aware of comparisons, roles, and family expectations. The next few years will shape how he views himself, whether he feels equally valued, and whether he senses a shadow cast by his elder brother's destiny. William and Catherine have been careful from the beginning to present the three siblings as a unified group. Public appearances, media access, and photo releases rarely isolate George as the singular focus. Instead, Charlotte and Louis share the spotlight. Louis, with his lively personality and joyful energy, has already captured the public's heart, proving that he's growing up with confidence rather than shrinking behind his brother. Reactions to the couple's parenting strategy have been overwhelmingly positive. Many viewers and royal watchers appreciate that William and Catherine are intentionally addressing a problem that historically has been ignored until it became too damaging to fix. Even commentators who question the feasibility admit that the couple's sincerity and consistency set them apart from previous royal parents. Understanding why this approach matters requires looking back at the long history of spares who suffered under the monarchy's expectations. Princess Margaret struggled in Elizabeth II's shadow, denied love, purpose, and fulfillment. Prince Andrew's entitlement and lack of direction spiraled into scandal. Prince Harry's lifelong frustration with being the second son filled him with resentment and emotional distress. But not all spares have struggled. Princess Anne built an admirable life of service, proving that with guidance and purpose, a royal spare can thrive. Prince Edward eventually found stability and meaning as well. William and Catherine want Louis to follow the example of the successful spares, not the tragic ones. Over time, royal parenting has undergone a slow transformation. The Victorian era was emotionally cold. The mid-20th century softened slightly but still kept children at arm's length. Princess Diana tried to revolutionize royal parenting with love, empathy, and involvement, but she faced institutional resistance and personal turmoil. William has learned from all of it and is now taking the evolution further than anyone before him. Public discussions online show people deeply engaged with the issue. Many relate their own experiences with favoritism or sibling rivalry, highlighting the universal nature of the problem, even inside a palace. Critics of the monarchy argue that the need for such careful management proves the institution itself is outdated. Supporters believe William and Catherine's approach is exactly what the monarchy needs to modernize and survive. The ripple effect of their strategy could be enormous. George may grow into a more humble, grounded king. Charlotte may find confidence and purpose without being overshadowed. Louis may mature into a valued, fulfilled member of the family with his own passions and responsibilities. If this strategy succeeds, it could redefine how future royal children are raised, shifting the culture of the monarchy toward emotional health, unity, and purpose rather than rigid hierarchy. But challenges remain. As the children grow, George will inevitably begin preparing for kingship. External pressures, from palace staff to the media, will reinforce the hierarchy William and Catherine are trying so hard to neutralize. Whether their approach can withstand those pressures is the great unanswered question. Their success or failure won't be clear for a decade or more. Only when Louis reaches adulthood will we know whether he feels valued enough to embrace a role within the royal family or whether he drifts away like Harry. But the effort William and Catherine are making gives Louis the strongest foundation any royal spare has ever had. And that alone marks a transformative moment for the monarchy. If you've stayed with us through this deep dive into one of the most consequential family dynamics inside the royal household, thank you for being part of Royals Explored. Make sure you're subscribed and notification ready so you never miss our latest insights. Now it's your turn. Do you believe William and Catherine can truly protect Prince Louis from the spare curse? Can equality exist in a system built on hierarchy? What more could they do to help Louis grow up confident and fulfilled? Share your thoughts below. We read every comment. The future of the monarchy may ultimately depend on whether one young boy feels seen, valued, and supported as he grows into his role. And we'll be here to follow every chapter of that journey.